All right, guys, I hope you're ready to go a little bit deeper with me. We talk a lot about chemistry and hormones and numbers and food and fitness and you name it. But I don't really spend a lot of time talking about how you feel. And at the end of the day, most of our decision making, whether it's who we choose as a partner, what food to eat, what we're going to do for exercise, what career path we're going to go on, is really determined by how we feel. And how we feel, really how we motivate and move throughout the world, comes from one place. It comes from our heart center. And most of us will say, yeah, duh, that everyone knows that. The heart center is the seat of decision making and so much more. But here's the tie-in that I hope you'll understand as you follow kind of my next few words. First of all, I'm an integrative physician. I worked for over 15 years with patients at Center Spring MD. And I've sat with them and been so fortunate to listen to their stories, to their ups and their downs, and to really see firsthand how their life plays out. And here's what I've learned. And a lot of this is from my own personal experience as well. Our hormones are not just molecules or numbers on a data sheet or just phases of our lives. They are really driving how we feel. And so when I talk about hormone balancing, of course, I'm talking about it in the physical plane, right? Making sure you've got energy. Where's your weight? Where's your sleep? Where's your mood? And so much more. But really, your hormones will drive your emotional responses and vice versa. Let me give you an example. If you've got a lot of hate or anger, that emotion locks down into the lowest sort of chakras, right? Into the root and sacral plexus. And ultimately blocks you. It prevents you from experiencing anything from kind of the waist up, meaning you can't get to the heart space, you can't get to your ability to communicate in the throat chakra, and you have a lot of issues connecting to your spiritual self. So hate and anger impact, as we learned from Chinese medicine, organs like the liver, the gallbladder, and more. They are stored and locked in our pelvis and also locked in our lower abdomen and our stomach. So if you're someone out there who's had a lot of hormone issues and you're feeling pain and congestion in the pelvis, I challenge you to where are you with your feelings? Are you struggling with something? Do you have repressed anger? Are you angry at yourself or somebody else? Then you would want to work not just on the physical balancing of hormones, which I talk about, but also on the emotional balancing of those emotions. Let's try a different one. Let's try fear. Fear in Chinese medicine and Ayurveda lives in the kidney. The kidney meridian is actually responsible for how your hormones flow and how they're balanced. If your kidney meridian is worn down, you're going to have a lot of issues with your thyroid and sometimes indirectly with your progesterone levels too. Your gut gets impacted. So all of these emotions directly impact different energy pathways, which then in turn impact how you feel, your emotions, your hormones, and so much more. All right, now we're going to take this a step further and talk about hormones and your relationships. I already kind of laid out how being hormonally balanced lines out the chakras, helps you move into the heart space, helps you move a little bit more into your spiritual connection with yourself, which ultimately, at the end of the day, is so important. But what does that mean for your relationships and for your work? Here's what I've seen happen. In a relationship, there are highs and lows, right? The beginning of the relationship is flooded with serotonin and dopamine and all these feel-good, happy hormones. But science actually has proven that a lot of that starts to fall away as you hit year 2, for year 3, or even year 4. There's less of those unless you're consciously working to create them, trying to find joy in the relationship, creating fun in the relationship, making time and space for the relationship. In many relationships, by the time you hit year 7, those hormones have bottomed out, and the stress hormone, cortisol, has peaked. Usually there are young children in the picture or more responsibility of some kind, whether it's work or aging parents or whatever it may be. And the combination of bottoming out hormones and increasing cortisol changes the dynamic between two people, and that results in a lot of relationship stress. So that's a common time when people start to feel separated from their partner, or where you see a lot of relationships fail. So the first one is like year 2 or 3, and then the next one is about year 7. Moving on from that, as both men and women, or all partners, have more hormone shifts going into maybe fertility, perimenopause, menopause, and then experience andropause, those hormones not being balanced changes your perception of your partner and your perception of yourself. So if they're not balanced, again, you're staying locked in sort of these lower chakras. If they're balanced, you are able to more freely come up into this heart space where you can have more loving and happier interactions with one another. So again, moving into your heart space at the end of the day is the goal of hormone balancing. It's actually the goal and the mission of having happy and fulfilling relationships, and in turn really helps you move into your purpose and your power so you can do the work you were meant to do. Now this is a lot, and it's a deeper conversation, but what I do in the hormone shift, I paint out the emotional spectrum and help you to identify where you may lie in this emotional frequency, and in turn, what it may mean for the emotions that you're carrying around and how they're impacting your hormones, or how your hormones are impacting these different feelings. Remember, I always talk about the 5 bodies and how they're all interconnected, and in turn, your physical body communicating with your emotional body, your energetic body, your spiritual body, and your social body, and that really determines your life. All right, I hope this all makes sense. Of course, ask me questions, but a lot of it I talk about in my latest book, The Hormone Shift. So check it out and let me know where you are. Is how you're feeling blocking you from really having the best relationship of your life and really doing the work that you're supposed to do? I post new videos every week. Don't forget to like and subscribe.